would you have an idea of how many or how much of our Filipinos overseas workers are sending money, and how it actually translated to making it easier compared to banks? Second question, yeah, the bank transfers are okay because it's via mobile number. What makes it different from previous transactions? You have a SWIFT code. In this case, for example, I accidentally sent a money to somebody with a wrong number. Do I have a chance to claim it back or something, or what?
Okay, so there's two different topics. So the first one I will go on the second topic, which is the bank one. So what's the difference versus before? Well, before, number one, it was not free. It's still not free, because actually I think we are the only free proposition of the market. Multi-bank transfer, meaning from one bank to another one, was at the least not a very simple process. And usually, up to a certain amount, it was taking more than 24 hours, because that's the timeline of PesoNet, if I am correct. And to the last part of your question, if you send money, for example, from GCash to GCash, if you notice, before even you trigger the transfer, you have the information of who it is. Because this is among all environments, so we control absolutely everything. That includes the data privacy aspect and all of that. The issue versus the situation that you are giving is basically when we are doing that with an external partner, there is part of the process which are out of our hands. Meaning, for example, if the bank partner has a maintenance system, even if on our side everything is smooth, the flow will be stuck at some point. So what we are trying to do is to give some clear information about the user of where is transfer here, if ever there is an issue. Honestly, that would be one of my push for next year. Don't even trigger the movement. I mean, if the bank has an issue, let's not even trigger the transfer of funds. So at least there is no risk of where is your money. The first thing also is usually when people have an issue with a bank transfer, they don't contact the bank. Even if the problem is on their side, they contact us directly. So we are the one actually who are directly contact our partner and make sure that either the transfer is pushed through, either we have the information, or we just go back the money and send it back to your bank account. I would say today, I don't have the exact information, but usually that thing happened in 24 hours. The worst case scenario that I've seen was 3 days. And most of the time, what I would say is out of our hands. But as you said, this is our client, so in any case, our responsibility is to manage him, to handle him, and to make sure that he's reassured his money is not lost in the limbo and he will not never see it again. Now, on the first part of your question, who was the international remittance aspect. So there is different channel for that, because of course there is the pound shop or all the international flow that we know, but you also have other channels like PayPal, for example. We have a very good solution on PayPal. Actually, it's totally free on the PayPal aspect. You can transfer money, and we start to see a significant growth on that, including the volume. I would tell you that the usual volume which is transferred by a user, the average ticket, is at least 4 to 5 times bigger than the domestic remittance. So we can see that there is more and more money coming. Now for the international transfer, we launched last year with Alibaba the special corridor blockchain.
You were there.
Yeah, you were here, exactly. So I was going to say, it was a test for us to see if, number one, it was bulletproof, because when you say blockchain, we need to be sure it's bulletproof. And number two, there was an appetite for that. And the results are there. So I can already tell you that next year, this corridor, which is only, I think, Hong Kong to Philippines now, is going to be demultiplied. We're going to see more and more in our market where you will be able to use a similar solution. We call that Gemini. From abroad to Philippines, that's one road. The number two road, I'm sure being scrutinized in this market, you also saw that now there is more and more solution where it's not a direct relay to whatever, but Now the bank are proposing some solution that involve InstaPay in the middle of the equation. It's not yet as democratized as, it's not super known yet, but I can see that's the road which is coming. So I will not be surprised if next year there will be some significant change in that landscape, probably affecting drastically the cost of international remittance. I cannot disclose everything, as you can imagine, but that's the direction we are strongly working on. So probably next year we'll have a very robust solution for international at a significant decrease in terms of cost.
Follow-up.
Sure.
Follow-up question.
Sorry, follow-up question. Since you launched I'm not seeing, where's the echo? So since you launched the Customer Protect since last month, what was the feedback? And since GCash is actually using a Visa partnership or something, MasterCard, would there be a chance that it will be accepted in other countries, because sometimes it's only detected as a debit card and it's not accepted in some countries?
Okay, so to be totally transparent, the Consumer Protect is not on my landscape, so the perception that I'm seeing is just the one around me. I would say the number one objective, which is increase the confidence in GCash, I see the positive feedback. I mean, when you say to someone, use a wallet, use GCash, yeah, but no, if there is any issue, they handle it for you, they even refund you. That's a pretty strong proposition. So it's a personal feedback, this one, it's not an overall GCash feedback, but my personal feedback is basically, it seems that the goal, the objective is fulfilled. I would say we probably need a little more time to see if it will have a drastic impact. But I would say personally, I feel, yeah, so far it seems to have a strong appeal to the market. Now on the second one, which was, sorry, yeah, on the MasterCard part, it's a very good question. It's usually what people say when, it's a very good question, and thanks for asking it. Actually, I have the same question than you. Because the problem is, as soon as you go abroad, it's MasterCard world, we don't control it. And you're totally right, it depends on the country. For example, in China, you can pay with it, but you cannot withdraw money. In France, you cannot pay with it, but you can withdraw money. So it's actually Monday, I had a meeting with the MasterCard people and we raised that topic. The answer we had is, yes, you're right, we have to consolidate that. So this is more a hope than a promise on this one, but I think we will have some more clarity next year. At the end of the day, if we cannot unify the product, I mean, MasterCard is not us, but I think what we owe to our users is like, this is what you can expect per territory. If you go in China, expect you can pay, but you cannot withdraw, for example. If you go in Europe, expect you can withdraw, but you cannot pay. But aligned with you as a consumer, I experience the same thing.
Okay, any other questions, please?
Hi, sorry from my question is, how would you compare the use of mobile wallets here in the Philippines compared to the region, such as Southeast Asia and to the world?
The world is a big thing. Let's start with Southeast Asia. I would say you have different level of maturity of the market. So definitely China is a world by itself and it's absolutely everywhere. I think our Alipay, which as you know is a shareholder of GCash, has 900 million users there, so it's a different world. But it's probably also because the landscape was more ready. For example, they have a national ID, so it facilitated a lot of development. Probably the more advanced market would be Indonesia and India. I would say for the Indonesian market, there is much more player, it's much more aggressive market. The digitalization of the payment is also much more developed. If you saw the e-commerce landscape, there is 10 to 15 key players who are really aggressively pushing the market. Thailand seems to have good traction, but as usual in Philippines, at least from someone who's living here since 15 years, but still is a foreigner, what I've noticed is sometimes trend can take a little time to peak, but once the trend pick up, the growth is extremely aggressive. We basically multiply by 300% consecutively in several years our user. At least I'm joined the company 1 year and a half, that's what I've seen. So I would say that Philippines is now moving extremely aggressively, and to be honest also, all the government support is here. BSP is extremely aggressive to that. Even some banks now start to have their online open banking mindset and develop some product. The launch of solutions like InstaPay, I mean, it's probably something that would have been more complicated 10 years ago. So I would say maybe we were not the first one to aggressively move on this market in Philippines, but the pickup now is pretty impressive. I would not be surprised if the next year is definitely we are reaching some kind of aggressive age.
Since we're talking about money transfer, I'd just like to know, since GCash is quite popular, very popular already here in the Philippines, among consumers, even to my relatives in the province, I'd just like to ask, at which time of the day is the peak hours when most Filipinos transfer money? Do you have a data on that? And why?
Okay, so based on the data that we have for money transfer, the peak is always, well, on the day, it's Monday, Thursday, and then Friday. And then on the time of day, it's usually either from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. or from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Is there any particular market which is being attached to? Like, for example, those who transfer money from in the morning are probably students, and probably those who transfer money during lunch are businessmen, tapos those who transfer money in the evening are probably those who mistresses.
For the most part, our market is really big, so it's a bit difficult to tie it to a specific time or a specific day. But based on the trend, not just on the day or the time, it's mostly those who we know are very adept in using the product. So usually it's those that are working, those who transact because they need to send money because of salaries and allowances.
So it's salary and allowances?
Usually, yes.
Nothing more than that?
Of course, there are a lot of other instances where they can send money, but that's the bulk of our chunk.
Thank you.
Actually, there is a lot of use cases, which is probably why transfer money is so versatile. You have so many different situations. We notice that some people are doing just to pay a debt, sometimes to someone. The reason why we are launching Kenyan Buy, as we were saying earlier, is because when we were discussing with people, they told us, oh, because I split the bill, because the transport every day, because this, because that. So I'm pretty sure the one we are giving you is the obvious one, clearly identified, but we saw a lot of use cases under that who keep on growing, which is why, as we were saying earlier, now each time we see a trend that definitely makes sense, we just translate that in real life trend to a solution in the system. That's exactly how Kenyan is born by
Another question, because we've had GCash as guests on my radio show, and one of the questions that keep coming back is when is GCash going to be funded, if ever, through a sari-sari store?
So that's one of our objectives of actually next year. That's one of the projects we want to lead. I would say that it's not, if I may, only founded through sari-sari, it's the overall ecosystem. Because why would you found in a sari-sari if in your direct environment there is no necessary reason for you to use GCash? And are the people in this area knows exactly what GCash can do and can bring to them? So we made a lot of push recently in sari-sari. We wanted to test, and that's the feedback we get. Definitely there is traction. but there is also an appetite to, okay, I have a wallet, I need it, now I want to do more. I want to be able to pay by QR in my Sari, for example. So I think you cannot do one without the others. If you bring GCash there, and actually it's not if we are bringing GCash there, you need to bring the overall ecosystem, not only the caching solution. You need to, again, as we were saying earlier, you need to give a reason to people to use GCash, so they have a reason to cash in.
The only reason why I brought it up is because they keep saying that most of the stations where they can actually cash in are sometimes offline. And in banks, during bank hours, they don't really reach bank hours because they are only able to reach points for their banks after office hours. So that's the reason why, one of the few reasons why they're asking if they can actually transfer money or remove money from a Sari store, which is very basic for everybody who actually knows mobile load.
So totally aligned on that, and that's why we identify that as a key pillar for us. There was also technical reason on our side. We wanted to make sure that we could also go, because as you know, we have to rethink some aspect also of the caching process. This is not a 7-Eleven or a mini-stop, so we needed also to optimize our product, but you can expect strong move next year on that one.
In relation to Isel, kasi online sellers and online buyers, GCash is very useful. The Click app is useful only if you have data on your phone. Yes. But in most cases, if the Click booth is down in a particular area, everything is down. Are you looking at other convenience stores? There are more than one brand that is open 24 hours. Why not up them instead of Sari stores?
So, let's be with the echo. So today we are basically around 17 to 18,000 locations where you can cash in. So we keep on increasing that. We will reach 30,000 before the end of the year. Some contract has been already signed. I would say it's not only necessarily the hour of the day, it's also the convenience of the experience. So what we are doing now, and it's the case at Pure Gold, it's the case at LDC, it's the case at 7-Eleven, we are growing that also. You will be able to cash in now directly with a barcode. A barcode. So basically you type your amount, it generates a barcode, the person in fact just type the number or scan it and it's done. Because one of our objectives also was to make sure that we standardize the experience to make sure everybody has the optimized experience. So it was an overall move that we've done. You can expect that before early Q1 next year, all our key partners will actually propose that experience. We are also working now with all our partners to improve every step. So that means the frontliner experience, the interaction if there is any issue or whatsoever. We are measuring that and we see some drastic improvement. We also open another source of funding. As you know, you can fund now your wallet through bank. You can link any card, debit card actually, to your wallet and directly fund. You can link some account like BPI and it's flawless, and each time it's completely free. So again, aligned, Sari is a good option, and we will go there. The only thing is you need to make sure that you come with the right solution, because if not, there will be no adoption on the Sari partner, and you made a nice announcement, but you don't necessarily deliver.
Hi, Lawrence Persigan from Business Layer. I'm just wondering, because it says here that there's a lot of potential for the untapped segments in the mobile money remittance sector. So, how does GCash intend to do this? How will GCash capture the untapped segments like the disengaged methods and contents, etc.? Thank you.
I would say in this case we are moving from simply the transfer. It's more an overall GCash proposition that you are raising. Am I correct?
How?
Yeah, but it's beyond now only sending money. So basically what we have in mind since mid of this year and what probably will be a lead push for next year, is basically back to the fundamental and be aggressively pushed on that one, which would be send, shop, and save. So send money, we discussed already a lot about it, so we're going to keep on launching product. We already have direction that we will announce soon to propose, again, solution to when basic expectation of the user. When we will talk about it, you will say, oh, yes, it was time. I just cannot announce it now. On shop, I know there's a lot of initiatives. It's something we can discuss with Comcom after, because honestly, that's not my turf. So on save, it's a product that we are aggressively pushing now. I'm sure you're aware of our partnership with CIMB. I remember a couple of weeks ago, maybe 1 month, we announced 500,000. We are actually at 600,000 now, and we will reach the million before the end of the year. I personally strongly believe in that one, because it's definitely aligned with what is GCash. We definitely educate people on why it makes sense for them to save. The product is extremely easy. The obvious benefit is there. You don't have to convince people. They immediately see the benefits for that. So probably to answer to your question, it will be around this 3 key pillar, but we're going to push all our initiatives.
So you're going to make it easier for the customers to cash in, something like that. Can you go on to specifics?
I think it's a friction question. At the end of the day, how do you minimize all the friction? So in terms of caching, that's what we were saying earlier. You need a standardized experience, which is already what's happening now. You need also experience which is different from the one expected, like all the online linking that we've done. Now, as I was saying, you can link practically any card from any bank, and it's free. You can cash in immediately in real time. As we were saying earlier, all the send money product, because technically, once you have what we call express send, the feature that you are all using to send money, why would you need to create any other product to split the bill? We just compute on the paper and we just send money, right? But no, we want to go further. I mean, if there is a valid product there because it makes sense, let's build the smoothest as possible experience for the user. So I would say yes, we're going to keep on doing what we've done since a couple of months, at least on the send money team. Analyze the performance, the user, discuss with them what do you need, and build a product specifically for that. KKB, as you understand, is the Venmo of the Philippines. That's basically the idea. Again, technically a lot of people are already sharing the bill. They are already doing it, so why building the product? Because we think we can make their life even easier for that. So that's what I'm saying about when we're saying minimize the friction.
So the focus would be on addressing pain points.
For send money and transfer, definitely. I would say for save, there is a strong educational aspect. But of course, if you want people on board, you need to simplify as much as possible. But you also have to convince and to educate why it makes sense. Shop, unfortunately, I'm not